So we didn't do, oh, here we go. It's working. Guess so. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about data quality and your CFO today. But first, it's opening day for the Savannah Bananas. So let's get over to YouTube and see what they've got to say. Here we go. Oops. And we're going to be talking about them for a bit. Here we go.
He faces, so the extra hitter for the Bananas goes down into a full split. Vincent Chapman has to get lower than he's ever been before. Oh, he's off for the races. Oh my goodness gracious. Brady West, by the way, a dangerous man in the box. Crossbar ends up firing it high. The Bananas whipping it around the infield. The play at second, in time! Michael Deeb tags him out. Let's go! The Bananas able to cut down Brady West before he can reach second base. And continuing their pro
career.
These are
ideas on how to speed up
here
baseball.
in the summer series. Let's start the clock, 2 hours on it. That's all we've got. Freeland Almodovar with a real quick 0-2 count. Remember, there is no stepping out of the box. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. 10th pitch of the at-bat. And it's shot into left field. It's a base hit. Malachi Mitchell being waved around third. The throw from Don. Not in time! Ryan Cox is the hero in the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, he did. He popped it up.
Doc!
Oh, yeah! And makes the catch!
Okay, that's enough of that. Well, anyway, so the Savannah Bananas are a team that you probably haven't heard of, but you've maybe heard of the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have 1 million followers on TikTok. The Savannah Bananas have 4 million TikTok followers. And their opening day is today in Palm Beach, Florida, I think. They're based in Savannah, Georgia, and they're sold out. I mean, I looked on their calendar, and it's sold out. They are making baseball history, and they've made just a few minor changes to baseball. There are no walks. And that first part of the clip you saw where they throw the ball around. So if there's a 4th ball, the batter takes off running, and he can stop at first, but he can go as far as he wants. The other team has to have every player touch the ball, except the pitcher and catcher, and then the ball is in play. So the runner was trying to get to second, and they managed to quickly flip the ball around and get him before he got to second. So that was a big play. My favorite rule is on foul tips up into the stands, if the fan catches the ball, then you're out. It really boosts fan engagement and would have made a big difference in that famous foul ball with the Chicago Cubs where the fan interfered. I think he caught the ball, but it didn't count because he interfered with and anyway, long story. It would have been the side out. They'd end up scoring. Ended up not going to the World Series. Yeah. So let the fans get engaged. Anyway, the Savannah Bananas hired an intern, and she suggested that they go on TikTok. And she put up content. She said, I put up basically cute boys without shirts dancing. And we had about a 70% female audience at first summer because we were posting shirtless players dancing, but now we're about 50-50. The goal is to make baseball fun. And so does this work? That's the bottom line question. It's always the bottom line question on this show. Does this work? Well, Last year, when the Bananas announced their world tour schedule, the website shut down for 3 days due to traffic. There were over 500,000 people on a waiting list for tickets. The tour kicks off on February 17th, which is today, and already about 75% of the tickets are sold out, according to Alanitz, who's the VP of marketing or something. The other 25 aren't on sale yet. So anyway, sold out. Take a page, and they're good baseball players. 10 of them have been drafted to the major leagues. And so, it's quality baseball, but it's also a lot more fun than baseball. The way they play it, if you score more than the other team in an inning, you get 1 point. So if you're batting second, if you're, the second team up, you're the home team, and you score 2 runs, or you score 1 run and the other team didn't score any, then you get a point. You don't have to stay up. You don't have to keep playing that inning out and try to get ahead by 20. And it doesn't mean that one team is taken out of the game just because one team scores 8 and you got nothing, which is about a 99% chance you're not going to win. Not 100 though. And so a lot of surprising rules and a lot more fun. Okay, now with a recession likely, and I've been hearing this for like the last year. I don't know if we've had it or hadn't had it, or are we having it? Are we in it? I don't know. But they seem to be able to kick the can along the road. So, think like a CFO. You should always think like a CFO. Why? Because a CFO has to keep in mind got to keep the business doors open, but you also got to have growth and profitability long term. So a CFO thinks in terms of the numbers, not just in terms of the pretty creative. And I'm all in favor of that. And that's kind of the underlying magic of direct marketing. However, not all CFOs get it. One of the oldest catalogs in America told me that when I asked if they tested enough, they said their CFO doesn't like them to test because one half of the test will win and the other half will lose. And the half that loses erodes the profit. If we would have just taken the winning half, we would have had more profitability. That is short-term thinking, if I've ever heard it. Right, how do we know which one would have won? Unless you set up a test, you'll never know. And so you keep doing your dumb stuff over and over and over, and you'll maximize profits and minimize the quality of the information. So, this is the funny part. CFOs said their top 3 priorities for this year are cost management, financial performance, and growth. Pick any 2, but don't pick all 3, because it's really hard, right? It's really hard to get them all, right? It's not impossible, but it is. It just shows you the tough spot your CFO is in, and his favorite place to cut is marketing, because he really doesn't think there's a connection between marketing and causal forces in sales and profits. So how are you going to prove that you're worthwhile to your CFO? And the answer is testing. That is the only way to prove incremental benefit of marketing investment. You got to test. And sometimes the main thing, when I was working with Musician's Friend, and they were owned by Guitar Center, who thought every guitar sold through the catalog was a steal from the stores, but they were owned by a venture company in Dubai, and they didn't have any direct mail culture. Neither of them did. So you got 2 owners, and neither of them want the catalog to exist. So what do? Well, we did holdout tests. Every spring, we would do a regular mailing, and which at the time was about $500,000 a month, and we would take about 30,000 of those, and we would not mail them. And for the first month, we would not mail all 30,000. Then we would take 10,000 of them and mail them the next month. And then we would take 20,000 and mail them the next month. So some of them got held out. There was 10,000 of them that didn't get mailed for 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, like that. And so what we always found was, except when the matchback got botched, which we figured out for them, but we always found that the catalog got several 100% return on investment. And that was all we had to do. That helped the CFO figure it out. Did it cost something? Yeah, it costed something to test it. We had to not mail a few people, but we compared their downstream sales and profitability with the people we mailed, and it was always higher. And you don't have to do an A-B. You don't have to do a 50-50% split. You can just hold out a little bit and see what it looks like. We also did that with Lovesac, where their VP of marketing said, why are we mailing a catalog? We should be working on top of mind awareness. Okay, when we're mailing the catalog to people we've already sold to. Well, so we didn't mail about a 10% panel, and we found out that we had a 300% EBITDA ROI. Yesterday we talked a little bit about how to figure out break even and what costs go into it. But we took, not only did we take the cost of goods and the cost of the mailing, but we also took the cost of overhead. Took those out, and for every dollar we spent on the catalog, we got $3 of extra profit on the customers we mailed. Now, one of the things we noticed when we did the matchbacks was that for every order we got from an existing customer when we mailed the customers, we got 2 more orders from customers from new people who live next door, or just on the same floor of the apartment building, or basically in the same address. And when we included those, we got a 900% return on investment. And that's real money. And they're mailing their catalog to this day. And they've gone public and had a lot of other good things happen. Direct mail data quality keeps marketers coming back. And this is by Katie Amundsen. And over at SQL Response. Okay, so we're going to talk about data quality a little bit. Direct mail investments continue to rise. I'm not sure that's true, but I hope it is. And even surpass popular social and streaming channels. Not sure about that. But anyway, I'll take her word for it. And I think there were hot links in this, but I don't see them anymore. Okay, so what's the motive behind that? And she says, direct mail data quality. You can use offline data to reach your best audiences without access to third-party cookies. True. Okay. Marketers can rely on data quality, but marketers struggle to find data quality. According to Salesforce reports that reaching my audience due to increased data security regulations for offline data modeling data. Yeah, well, actually, most of the data security doesn't, and most of the privacy legislation doesn't even mention direct mail, because your physical address is in the public record, right? So, and the mailbox is property of the U.S. Postal Service. So, accuracy, completeness, reliability, relevance, and timeliness remain consistent factors because it's based on your home address, right? And so we have a need to have it accurate. We have the federal census every 10 years to get geodemographic information about you and your neighborhood. And so we are also well suited with consumer privacy because we're not using private information. And unless we're using our transaction data, in which case it is first-party data. It's data that you basically give us in order to ship your products. Okay, so it all makes sense. Now, at this point, and she goes on to say there's a lot of ways to build your targeted list. That's true. Excuse me. There's a lot of list options, and you should talk with your list supplier. But she doesn't really talk about some of the best parts about direct mail. One of the best parts is that not only do we know who we're mailing to, we know everybody that we're going to get mailed to, unless we use Everydoor Direct. But I would suggest there's other ways to save postage that give you better data. So we know who we mailed to. We also know that it got delivered. The Postal Service, you can even sign up for a service that tells you when it gets delivered. Excuse me. I really feel better today, a lot better, but I still have a little bit of a cough. So not only do you know it gets delivered, but you know it goes to a decision maker. How do I know that? Because direct mail requires a decision. Direct mail requires that you decide, what is this? Do I want to keep it or not? And you can add, do I want to act on it? And so, all the while we had 4 kids. They were walking past the post office every day, or the mailbox every day. Did we ever let them open the mail? No. Did we even let them pick up the mail? Generally, no. We basically picked it up ourselves. We told them not to pick up the mail because we didn't trust the little devils in case there was a note from their teacher or something valuable like that. And I do remember one Christmas vacation when one of my teachers told me that unless I got my act together, I was going to flunk the course and they were going to mail my parents a letter. And I diligently picked up the mail every day. You think I'm going to let that get through? No way. I'm surprised my mother wasn't suspicious on that one. But I ended up doing all my homework, getting it all done, and getting an A in the course. Yay. Who says direct mail doesn't generate a response? Anyway, not only that, but because we have that level of engagement where you have to make a decision with the mail, everything you get, you have to make a decision. The decision maker of the household has to make the decision. We have the best labeled data set. A labeled data set is, where are the stoplights in this picture? Or which pictures have stoplights? And by that, we can have a human decide which has a stoplight and which doesn't. And you need a labeled data set to do machine learning. There's no real good way around it. And so direct mail baked in has the best labeled data set. And I haven't heard anybody talk about this. So Katie, I offer you a suggestion. Let's work together. You can give me some credit in your article, and let's do an article on this topic. You can copy this word for word as a starting point, and let's talk about how direct mail is the only good foundation for machine learning in marketing, which is why I've been doing it successfully since the mid-90s, and basically the rest of mass media can't figure it out. So have a great day. Oh, thank you for responding. We sent out a little mailer or emailer yesterday to the WDMA list. I'll post the details for the February 28th, Tuesday the 28th. We're going to have a little meetup. I've already got a dozen people, some leaders in the direct mail industry. We always have a lot of fun, and I will post that later today. So have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.